Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, could I interest you in some lakefront property in Devil World? First thing to do in this town is buy a white crystal, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society buys a white crystal with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my favorite Pokemon, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
Oh, wow. Somebody's got Pokopia on the mind. I guess we both do.
Yeah, I mean, we must.
We must.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Patrick.
If you don't say me, it's weird.
And I was going to say it even if you hadn't said me.
Yeah.
Even if you had gone with Trubbish or something.
Oh, man, that Trubbish. I tell you what, I did not have any exposure to Trubbish previous to Pokopia. But that little guy, he's made of a garbage bag. He will eat unburnable trash, turn it into iron ore. He's so cute.
But he won't eat burnable trash.
I have yet to encounter trash that is labeled as burnable, only unburnable trash.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm totally Pokemon Pokopia pilled. I think it's great. I don't want to play anything else or talk about anything else. So this episode, we're talking more about Pokopia, sort of in a roundabout way.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
But Mark, before we dig into that, of course, just got to shout out the Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yes, that's right. Where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies, seeing a movie together, it being a movie.
Seeing it, parentheses, a movie, close parentheses.
Together.
Yes.
And then talking about it. And the parentheses, movie, close parentheses, that we're going to be talking about for March is Project Hail Mary.
Open parentheses, 2026, close parentheses.
That's right. For if it gets remade in the future, we don't
Right.
want people to be confused.
Possibly to distinguish it from the book,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, because that was not published this year.
It was not.
Presumably, I haven't read it.
That's right. That's information you can't have without reading it.
But all of this is to say
Yes.
that that's the thing that's happening. And if you're supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit level, you get access to those episodes, which have been a ton of fun. Plus,
That episode will be coming out this weekend, by the way.
yeah, that's right. The movie comes out on Friday. We're going to be seeing it on Friday. And then you also get access to all of our miniseries that we've done, including NCS Arcade, NCS Goes Broadway, NCS Detective Club. But if you're supporting us at any level on Patreon, including the free level,
Surely not the free level, Mark.
even the free level,
What?
there is content available to you as well.
Yes, so check that out. Head on over there, see what is there for you to listen to. Thank you to our new patron, Galamzilla. Love it. Great name. Love it. Thank you for joining the team here. And then, of course, if you would like to interact with us in any way, you can head on over to our Discord. Email us, and I will send you an invitation. Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. Then you get in there and you chat with us as we are discovering things in Pokemon Pokopia or any other place. There's going to be a new multiplayer Super Mario Brothers Wonder suite of stuff in like a week.
Oh, yeah.
So get in there and organize some play sessions together. Let's have fun in there. All right, Mark, let's break open this Pokopia thing and design some of our own. I think what Koei Tecmo has done here in taking their Dragon Quest Builders formula and applying it to Pokemon is, I'm going to say, revelatory, because I think it is. I think they quietly invented a new kind of game, which has a lot in common with like Minecraft and like other sort of like buildery kind of games. They merged it very nicely with Dragon Quest. But then I just can't really, I want to like drill down on like what's special about Pokemon Pokopia.
Okay.
And how it like achieves a Pokemon-ness while also being its own first of all, I think we need a name for this genre of thing. We're calling this like build your own Pokopia,
Uh-huh.
but like, what actually is this genre?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a cozy life simulation thing because I mean,
Yeah.
I have not played Pokopia yet. I'm still making my way through Resident Evil Requiem.
Right.
I'm close, but I like I was saying
Games
on
are so similar.
I was saying on Tuesday, I am feeling a lot like I'm feeling left out by
Mhm.
seeing everybody have fun with Pokopia, and so I've got the itch. I've got the itch for
Right.
Pokopia, and
Fomokia.
I was watching you play it.
Connor McCabe's joke, but
I was watching you play it for a little bit, for maybe like half an hour,
Mhm.
but today before we started recording, and so I feel like it's like, it's an amalgamation of so many different things, right? You have a little bit of Animal Crossing,
Yes.
you have a little bit of Dragon Quest Builders, you have a little bit of like the Minecraft stuff, you have a little bit of like the relationship building of a Stardew Valley. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like
Yes.
it is taking all of these pieces.
Stardew does kind of feel like the sort of like lodestone there, right? Like the thing that is like at the heart of what it is. But then it's obviously in like a 3D space. And I just think it's so interesting the way that Pokopia takes what is a fundamental part of Pokemon, which is battling Pokemon, and throws it out entirely. And it's not as there are battles in Dragon Quest Builders, so it's just fascinating to me that like they're able to take other fundamental parts of the franchise, interacting with these fun, cute little guys, and like using their special powers to achieve something. In a regular Pokemon game, that's do violence against another Pokemon, and in Pokopia, it is like make better the world.
Well, I feel like you hit on it when we were talking about it on Tuesday, which is that in a lot of ways, this is wish fulfillment, right? Just being
Yes.
able to hang out in a world with Pokemon, like coexist with Pokemon.
Yes.
And the only real like goal in the game is to get more Pokemon, make more Pokemon friends, and make them as happy as possible.
Yes. Yeah. So like there is again, Dragon Quest Builders has like combat in it, so it is not a fully peaceful game. So I don't know if like because we're about to get to the point where we are pitching different like Nintendo series as Pokopia likes. So I don't know if you've decided to go like totally nonviolent in yours, or if like if violence exists on like a spectrum of what's necessary for that franchise to be itself, because I would believe that. But like that is just something that I'm thinking about when like how to translate these other franchises to this format.
Mm-hmm.
What's necessary, what can be jettisoned, and like what are the benefits of plugging these other IP into this formula.
Right. And the way that I was thinking about it was like, okay, if Pokopia is that sort of like wish fulfillment part,
Yes.
then of like the Pokemon franchise, what other franchises like would I want to exist in? Would I want to have,
Yes.
because I feel like I'll say that for me, like combat is not a part of any of mine, even though I guess it could be I have in two of the three.
Yeah.
But it's just not something that that I really wanted to explore when I was looking at those franchises.
Yeah, and like for me it's just such a like I think about the way especially that Nintendo is like trying to do franchise expansion now, and like we in the last decade we've seen so many examples of make it a Muso, right? Like we got 2 different Fire Emblem Warriors games, we got 3 different Hyrule Warriors games.
Also courtesy of Koei Tecmo.
Yeah, great point. But like how would I rather have it, right? Like what do I want? I definitely don't actually want the Muso games.
Right, like all combat.
Right, and I would much rather have like this avenue.
Uh-huh.
And like Pokemon's sort of like the king of having spin-off games that are like there are some good ones here and there, but like we are mostly getting like cafe remixes and all these other like kind of games that I am totally burning off in my estimation. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. Uh, but like, fighting game is another like common style of like trying to expand or spin off a brand. And like Pokemon did that. And I don't know how big of a footprint Pokken tournament actually had. But yeah, I just think Pokopia. I think that's the model. I want them to run this format into the ground.
I mean, it definitely feels like
I want to get sick of it.
They tapped into something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other preamble before we start laying out our like pitches for other Nintendo Pokopias?
No, I don't think so.
So I have a hard no at the beginning of my list.
Okay, great.
And I'm gonna say it, and then I need you to tell me if it contradicts with one of if you do want to.
If I'm a hard yes,
because I would like to hear the counter argument.
Yeah.
If you don't like what I'm about
sure.
to say.
Yeah.
Not Mario.
Mario's not on my list.
Okay. And I really, really don't need to see like how the Mushroom Kingdom works.
Right.
I don't need Toad to be my friend in a game where I'm not like running and jumping around as Mario.
Well,
you know
especially
what I mean?
Toad, because he's such a sycophant that like
he totally is. He's a total sycophant.
Like
yes,
he's gonna be your friend no matter what. But no, I agree with you. I mean, there's been nothing to the degree of like a Pokopia, but you saw it in like Super Mario Run.
Yes.
There's like that element where you can kind of like expand the Mushroom Kingdom.
You have your little like 6-panel Mushroom Kingdom that you're like putting, like you say, statues around. And I just like, and like the relationships between like Mario and Luigi and the princesses and like the Koopa kids, like I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, all of that, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think the less we know about how they interact, the better.
Yeah, it's funny because I think some of the more like memorable places in the Mario franchise are not the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, the Mushroom Kingdom is a fine location, but it's not really one that I want to spend a ton of time in.
Well, right. And also just like, when what I said before of like taking these like fundamental things that make a franchise and distilling it down into this formula, the things that make Mario for me are how good it feels to run and jump and explore.
Yeah.
And if I'm not doing that in a 2 or 3D environment, like what's the game? And I know that like there's RPGs and like all this other stuff. But like for me it's just like it's to Pokopia Mario is just doing it a disservice. So I'm saying no to Mario.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, good. Thank you and I think we can keep these campaign promises. No Mario Pokopia. But would you like to go first with one of your yeses?
Sure. I'll go first.
The rest will all be yeses.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with one. The one I'm going to kick things off with is I think pretty let me just say that I would not want this for modern hardware. I'm about to pitch, I want it on the Nintendo 3DS.
Okay, great.
And the reason for this, it's a Legend of Zelda kind of like Hyrule Builders type thing.
Yes.
So we're talking after a great calamity, not the great calamity.
Sure.
You're like an apprentice responsible for helping restore Hyrule.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving from region to region, town to town. You're helping like Gorons. You're helping Zora. You're helping, you have all this stuff going on.
You are not Link.
You are not Link.
Okay.
No, Link isn't in this game.
Okay, sure. He's probably asleep for 100 years.
He's probably asleep for 100 years. But here's the thing. There's a little bit of this in Breath of the Wild. You have like Terrytown or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't want this in that Breath of the Wild art style. I don't want it in the world of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I want it in A Link Between Worlds. I want it to be a little bit more, because for all that Breath of the Wild is and Tears of the Kingdom like is as far as like beauty and all that kind of stuff, I don't think it's very cozy. I don't think it has that je ne sais quoi that you
No,
want.
there's
from,
a
like,
harshness to the
yeah.
world of Breath of the Wild.
And so that's why I want it on the Nintendo 3DS, is because I want that coziness.
Right.
And I don't
And you don't want the game to sell any copies.
So yeah, that's what I'm envisioning, is like Link Between Worlds art style on the 3DS. Just your I mean, I guess you could do it in like the Link's Awakening,
Well,
Echoes
that's
of
what I was going to
Wisdom
ask. Is
type,
like, could it be a little bit more
thing.
Echoes of Wisdom-y?
Yeah.
Especially because like that game is populated by all of the like modern Zelda creatures, right?
Right.
Like you've got Gorons, you've got Zora. I don't think we have any Rito, but let's just get them all in there.
Yeah, why not?
Well, and that can be the way that like the game, teaches you new abilities where I don't know if like you're transforming into these things or what, but which really the in Pokopia proper, the ability for your character being a Ditto and then adopting the abilities of Pokemon. Mwah. It's so good. Like it is, and that's something that I was like kind of tapped into in my picks to be like, how on earth do you recreate that in these other games? And like, you don't want to be like a shapeshifter or whatever.
Right. But if let's say that in Hyrule, you are like an apprentice builder,
Uh-huh.
and then maybe the Rito, maybe the Goron, whatever, they're teaching you how to do their skills.
How to use like their Rito tools. And, like that's where you get a glider, and the Gorons teach you how to dig or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like going up to Death Mountain and like solving whatever problem is up there by like clearing the lava ways, so that they can, the Gorons can do whatever they do. That's very cool. I like that a lot. Are there fairies in this game? Are there great fairies in this game?
Oh, maybe the Great Fairies. I'm gonna say yes.
Mhm.
There are Great Fairies,
But they've lost their fountains. You have to find caves.
right. You have to
find or make caves for them.
and then you have to divert water sources to the caves.
Right, and then you have to build up like a little shrine around it.
Yes.
And only when the shrine is good enough do the fairies agree to go into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you know how there are those like weird little guys that like what they are before you like actually encounter them is just like a pot of goo, and you throw like magic powder onto it, and they like wake up and they're like, "Now I curse you." Do you know these guys?
No.
So they're these, and they're like strange little bat creatures. They're a little bit like Batro from the Skyloft game,
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword. Thank you.
Is this in Echoes of Wisdom?
No, so I think I think I think in A Link Between Worlds, but definitely in A Link to the Past, that like you throw magic powder on like this cauldron, and like it wakes up this creature of some kind, and then it like laughs at you, and it's like, "Now I curse you to take half damage." All right, I curse you to.
Is this the thing that in Kakariko Village you like throw magic powder on it and it turns into like a chicken or like a what are they called?
Cuckoo?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I do not know. But I just is that you messing up a fairy fountain? I guess. Is
Oh,
what I'm
I
saying.
see. Yes, yes.
You make like a corrupted fairy fountain, and
Uh-huh.
they turn into strange little creatures that half your magic usage. Like they say they're going to curse you, but they do a good thing for you.
Okay.
I don't know how you look this up. I know that you are trying right now.
But no, I do see what you're referring to. I do. I see
Yes.
because I see somebody on Reddit being like, "What am I supposed to do here? I sprinkled magic powder on the bat until he cursed me. Then I
Yes.
drank the green potion to refill my magic. Then I was able to cast fire." I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's those are fun characters, and you should accidentally be making them when you make bad fairy fountains. Is my pitch for your Zelda Pokopia. Zelda seems like such a good candidate for this. Should we try to name these things, or does that seem impossible?
Oh, I mean, we could try.
Okay.
Why not make the effort? See, I was
yeah.
thinking
Mhm.
this one might be, you have Hyrule Warriors is the Muso.
Right.
Maybe you have Hyrule, Builders.
Yeah, and you can't call it Hytopia because that already exists
That's
as
the
a
name
place,
of a place.
right, within Triforce Heroes.
Yeah.
That's the world where that game takes place. So yeah, just Hyrule Builders I think is probably fine. Mark, a great pitch, and I think like the quintessential like, and also Zelda. We always need more Zelda games. Okay, so for me, I'm not going to start with my number one idea because I think my number one idea is very good.
All right. Well, I'll warn you. That was probably my number one idea.
Okay, well, so it'll be like a horseshoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so my first pitch. Hey, I'm going to be true to my brand, and this is a Star Tropics builder.
Oh, good.
Okay, I mean, yes. How could it not be? But it's also a little bit of a Zoda's Revenge Star Tropics 2 builder. Because instead of finding homes for Pokemon or for, Dragon Quest Village characters, the cosmic cubes or whatever they are have opened a portal through time as usual, and significant historical figures and occasionally fictional characters find themselves tumbling out through the portal, and you have to make homes for them on the sea islands. So it's a little bit the setting for the original Star Tropics on NES and Zoda's Revenge Star Tropics 2 also on the NES. You play as Mike Jones and his uncle. I think they both have to be like working together. And so like a portal will open up, Abraham Lincoln falls out, and you're like, "Hi, Mr. Lincoln, what do you need to be comfortable on this tropical island?"
Needs a log cabin.
He needs a log cabin, so you have to chop down like a palm tree and make this work. I also think that this is a perfect opportunity to do just a little bit of a crossover with Codename Steam. Because it's so Zoda's Revenge, like the premise of it is that Mike is traveling through time, right? But you also find yourself in a Sherlock Holmes story. Sherlock Holmes, not a historical figure, but a fictional character. What other game mixes up historical figures and fictional characters?
Steam.
It's Codename Steam. So yeah, let's get Tiger Lily in there. Let's get the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. These can all be characters. John Henry. They're all in there.
Is Abraham Lincoln also a character in Codename Steam?
He is, yes. Abraham Lincoln, which I shouldn't have started with him. I should have started with like Cleopatra, a character actually from Zoda's Revenge. But yeah, Abraham Lincoln, I think he's the robot president in Codename Steam.
Of course. Yeah, that makes the most sense for sure.
Right. And he's recruited you to fight off an alien invasion in that game. So I also think that like in addition to, so first of all, I just like the idea of interacting with these like historical figures
that's fun.
And like well-known fictional characters from like public domain IP. So many of these sort of like cozy games are inventing the character's whole cloth, or like, like Pokemon obviously is borrowing from a whole lineage of like these characters. But yeah, if like Amelia Earhart could like just be on your island, you've got to like suddenly interact with her. Like that's cool and fun.
Yeah, that is a funny idea. And then to like distill down what their want would be.
Yes.
Like what does Amelia Earhart want her home to be like?
Exactly. And it's probably
on
just
the
like
sea islands.
It's just like the most base level you bring her like airplane parts or whatever.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, it's that kind of thing. And like, it could be that the game doesn't give you hints, and you just have to like take what you know about these historical figures or characters and like plug it in a little bit. Like, do you ever play like Carmen Sandiego?
Yes,
on, like and it's like she went to or she flew away on a plane that had a red and yellow flag, and then so you take your real life like almanac and flip to the flags, and you're like, okay, which one of these countries could she be going to with that flag? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. That would be amazing. It's like an edutainment game.
Just ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly.
Right. It's still very surface level. But yeah, and so a fun way to like inject a little Star Tropics into a Pokopia thing. Of course, you can move between your islands in the sea sub with that little robot Navcom, blah, 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 moving you around. Yeah, I think this would be a good Pokopia like.
So is it a true Codename Steam crossover, or is like the Codename Steam stuff just a like Easter egg?
Sure, is it kind of like implied? Yeah, That's a great question.
Well, I just think it'll change how we attempt to name this, I think, if it's a true
Yes.
crossover.
Let's make it a true crossover.
Okay.
And that way, there can be both the aliens from Codename Steam and the Argonians, the aliens from Star Tropics, can also appear in the world.
Now, is Zoda a threat in this game, or
No Zoda.
can Zoda also no Zoda at all?
Oh, can Zoda be one of your neighbors?
Right.
He's just like a little bit prickly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that. So
he's like Mr. Wilson to your Dennis the Menace.
That's right. And maybe he like spawns right away.
Sure, yeah.
And like everything you do sort of makes him cross, you know? That like you're building something for I don't know, Queequeg or whatever, and he's like, that's blocking my view of the river. Yeah, I like that. That he would be a constant presence. So yes, let's make it an official crossover. So is it like Codename Star Tropics Builder?
Right, because you have to work the Star Tropics.
Well, what's interesting is Star Tropics starts like ST. That's the beginning of Steam. And Codename Steam is Codename STEAME. Like it's with dots after each one. So if we just come up with the EAM of Steam, so Star Tropics. I may have set us an impossible task. Write in if you have the answer to our riddle here.
I don't know the first part.
Yeah,
but the second part, like the subtitle, right, could be "There Goes the Zoda Hood."
Yeah, okay, that's good. Codename Star Tropics Builder : There Goes the Zoda Hood.
Yeah.
All right, I
think so.
All right, very good. Mark, would you like to give your second pitch here for Pokopia?
Okay, yeah. So my second pitch, it comes from the Fire Emblem franchise, but I want to set this before the events of Three Houses, and I want it to be focused on the building up of Garrigmach Monastery.
Oh,
like create and
so like deep history, right? Because the monastery is one of those things that's like been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah,
right?
so the monastery's been there forever, but I actually looked this up. So it was established on the 25th of Ethereal Moon in the year 185.
But we all remember where we were.
But then Three Houses takes place in 1180, so like 1,000 years later.
1,000 years later. Okay.
But the Officers Academy was created like 200 years before Three Houses takes place, so it's around like 980.
Okay, so
I'm saying like
this is really like during the period of like the militarization of the church.
Yes.
Okay.
And when like this,
so is it like a first
class?
Officers
Academy, kind of, but I want it like it's
this
like
cool.
You're like you're setting because I still want to include some of the like time management mechanics of Three Houses, where you're making choices about how you're going to spend your time and you have a limited amount of time. So I guess that puts a little bit more pressure on this one versus like some other game. Although, Pokopia doesn't seem to have, and correct me if I'm wrong, that sort of like time pressure on it.
I mean, Pokopia does not really have like fail states in it.
But there are like, cycles in something like Stardew Valley.
Sure.
Where, there's like years and all that kind of stuff. Like you do have a limited amount of time in a day that you can accomplish things. And if you don't accomplish them in that time frame, then your opportunity to participate in that event could be gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But so I want to include some of those elements because I think that's what that was such an interesting part of Three Houses to me, was having to make those choices about how you're going to prioritize your time.
So are you not using a real world clock for this?
I don't think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I think that you are maybe like in that Byleth position in the beginning where it's like you are new to the school, but it is your responsibility.
The school itself is new.
Exactly. So it's your responsibility to get it kind of like up and running. Plus, the monastery, yes, it's old, but maybe not in the correct shape to be hosting students, to be hosting a
Yeah.
officers academy. So it does require some additional work, some additional building out, and that's your responsibility too.
And there could be a little bit of like butting heads with like the church folk that have been there for 800 years.
Sure, yeah.
And are maybe a little bit uneasy with the like slow militarization of this organization. Well, like, and that's such like an interesting thing in like the world of Fire Emblem Three Houses, that like the church does represent this sort of like, fascistic like arm of the politics of the world of Fodland.
Right.
And like if you are playing as the Black Eagles, is that the
Yeah, that's right.
that like you can sort of use either you can conquer the church and take over the continent yourself, or you can use the church to like further oppress like everyone. And so this can sort of be where that kind of tension originates from.
Yeah, totally.
What do you so in a lot of these games that we're talking about, you're like building out and like destroying the land and like building it all back up, but like there's some part of like the bones of the monastery that has to stay, right?
Yeah, probably.
Are you in like the surrounding woods, or like is it really just confined to the monastery itself?
Well, I guess you could go out for like resource gathering,
Mhm.
like that sort of thing. But I'm also imagining that, when we're in Three Houses, the monastery has been so built out and is so established and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's like a market
there's a
surrounding
market,
it.
there's like the little like fishing area, there's like all of
Yeah,
these
right,
discrete
sure.
areas that maybe don't exist at the point,
Right.
that this is this game is taking place.
Yeah. Well, and like that could be a cool way to sort of like measure it from year to year, is like the improvements that you've made determines how many high families are like sending their children there to be educated
Right.
at the officers academy. Yeah, that's cool. So but you would be like one of the teachers and like trainers. Like it's still based on making the students like better warriors or leaders or whatever.
Well, I was thinking more that I guess so, but you're not necessarily the time management part was the part that I thought was interesting.
Mhm.
So I think you could still do that, but it's like you're an administrator, you're not necessarily the
Gotcha.
teacher. You're not necessarily, because the goal of it is not necessarily to um in Three Houses, you are using that class time, that like school time, to decide, how am I going to level up this character? What do I want these people to specialize in?
Right.
And that's not really important to
Right.
like, this game.
And there very well could be like violence as part of that. Can I make like a pitch on then like who the
Please.
playable character is? What if it is like young priest who's like there to like revive the image of the monastery, and is like more in charge of, or like his thing is more about like gathering the resources to build it out and to like talk to people, to recruit them to be the new teachers, the new groundskeeper, the new whatever. And so it's less about you being a teacher and more about, like you say, being like an administrator, but like that's the motivating force to be like modernizing the monastery.
Yeah, that's great.
And then it just runs away with you and becomes this horrible like third arm of the warring empire's fourth arm, I guess. Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot. And man, I wish they would just spend more time in the world of Three Houses.
I know. I mean, there's Three Hopes, and potentially
that's true.
this new Fire Emblem game is taking place in the same continent, Folan, but maybe in a different time frame.
Yes. Well, but we're not really clear on what exactly.
Yeah,
like,
it
what
hasn't
the
been
relationship
confirmed
is,
or anything. Yeah.
But we've seen like Sothis as like a character in one of. But was she a god or just like a high figure in the church? I forget. I don't remember. But yes, okay, very cool. I like that a lot, Mark.
Are we gonna try to come up with a name for it?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Let's see. Probably want to play off of Three Houses. We already have Three Hopes.
Right.
Three HOA violations.
Yeah, sure. 3 permits unapplied for. 3.
Well, I mean, we don't have to limit ourselves. I feel like that's another
The 3 is
Star
really
Tropics.
useful though.
Let's
Fire Emblem 3,
I mean, too bad House is already taken because
because that's the thing that you build.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this one. This is tough. Naming them in real time is not working. Fire Emblem Builders 3. Fire Emblem 3 Builders.
Fire Emblem 3 Builders.
There we
I
go.
think that's what it is.
Here we go. Fire Emblem 3 Copia. Okay, I just snorted into the microphone. So pleased at my own dumb joke. All right, my next pitch. Oh, so I had like a sort of half pitch that was also Fire Emblem related, so I'm just gonna tack it on here.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But it was for just like a future Fire Emblem game to like release games in tandem, where one game is really just the combat and like some sort of like relationship management, just like between battles, really menu based, something a lot more like Fire Emblem Awakening in that regard, where you do grow these relationships, but it's all just like you're not running around like a big open world to like do that sort of stuff. And then pair that with a Fire Emblem Builders type game that like the two games can talk to each other, but when you're engaging with one, you're not engaging with, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Because like I do think that one of the knocks I have against Three Houses is when I get invested in doing the monastery stuff, I just want to keep doing the monastery stuff. And when I get invested in the battles, I just want to keep doing the battles. And I get sort of annoyed when it like kicks me back to the monastery and I'm like, oh, I got to do this again. Or the other way around, right? So let's just split those up. 2 separate games.
Yeah, let them just be their own thing.
Let them be their own thing. But so yeah, that was my little like half pitch, not really a fully fledged idea. My second real pitch here is not technically Nintendo. Sorry, not technically Nintendo. Castlevania.
Fun.
And I would want this to take place like in like proper Christian hell, right? Where the monsters go after they're defeated. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you play as like the daughter of Satan or whatever. So the monsters that have been defeated by the Belmonts, be they Draculas or Frankenstein monsters or sea creatures or
those like flying Medusa heads,
or like 2 dragon skulls stacked on top of each other spitting fireballs, they come to your hell world and you have to like nurse them back to health, make sure they're comfortable in hell, and still no combat, but just like it's sort of a like a Cult of the Lamb or like a Binding of Isaac like style twist of like they want gross stuff,
right?
And like just to take the sort of like cozy format and really make it disgusting.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of we're taking like the big bat that is the first boss.
Totally.
And like what would that big bat want for the rest of eternity? To be real like cozy and comfortable.
Right. And like I'm kind of undecided on when you get them up to a place that they're like healthy enough, do they go back into like, do they leave hell to like go back and battle with Belmonts again in the future?
Yeah. Are you nursing them back to health?
Right.
So is this kind of like yes, I mean, because obviously you're in hell, and so there's lots of space, and so you can make their own cozy things, but really you're kind of this is like a hospital of sort.
Yes, I mean, sort of like it's not a hospital so much as just like a place where the infirmed are resting.
Sure, yes.
So like an old sanitarium or whatever, and like the worse and more uncomfortable it is, the better, right? And you know how some of these games have, and Pokopia has this, where you visit like dream islands. Maybe as this character, you can go into the nightmares of like the living Belmonts to like retrieve resources from their nightmares to bring back to hell to like help the Wolfman
Uh-huh.
recover, so we can get back out there and fight vampire slayers.
Yeah, I mean that's such a. I love that idea of taking like a Cult of the Lamb
Yes.
type setting, but making it this cozy life simulator.
And as always, anytime we pitch a like Castlevania thing, I think the Castlevania villains are great, but I also want us to get back to the sort of like universal movie monster.
Sure, totally.
And like
Can the Phantom of the Opera be here?
can the Phantom of the Opera be there? Please. I want a Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
I want probably Abbott and Costello to be there. Okay, so now what is this called?
Castlevania.
There's no place like hell.
There's no place like hell. I mean, yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. And I like the idea of visiting the nightmares of the Belmonts.
I like the idea that it's like Satan's daughter.
Yeah,
because it's like Satan's occupied. He's got other things going on.
He's probably fighting the Belmonts,
but the daughter's down there.
Yeah,
to fight the good fight.
That's right. All right, Mark, your probably final.
Yes,
pitch
that's
here?
right.
Yes.
This brings me to my final Pokopia like, and it is for Wii Sports Resort.
Here we go.
And I'm thinking that this has elements of management sims like Roller Coaster Tycoon or Zoo Tycoon. So you play a big city attorney who was recently fired by the law firm that you thought you were on partner track for.
Sure.
But you're left a sleepy island resort as an inheritance from your aunt who passed away recently.
Your aunt, woohoo.
And unfortunately, the bank is about to foreclose on the mortgage on the island. So you are responsible for turning it into a thriving business.
Yeah. Great.
And so, could this also have like a romance element? Because the setup is basically, a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
So could this also have
So wait, was this an island that you visited as a kid and then outgrew
undoubtedly.
it? Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yes, for sure. You have.
Are there people who live on the island?
There are employees on the island. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And so, their livelihood also depends on your success.
They look up to you.
They're invested in the success of this Wii Sports Resort. And so I think it'd be fun to have some of that like romantic element as well, really play up the Hallmark movie of it all. Because to succeed in the game, you find like a partner in love, you have a successful, thriving resort where people are coming for fitness reasons.
So are you part of like Wii Sports Resort? And what's the name of the 3DS Pilot Wings game? Is it
Pilot Wings Resort?
Yeah. Which is like kind of connected to it,
yeah.
right?
And in Wii Fit, you're running around. When you are doing like free run, you're running on Woohoo Island.
So do you have to like carve out like the running paths and like
exactly?
You got to chop down trees to make like a zip line,
right? 100%.
Right.
And is that zip line going to end in a pool?
I
That's
mean,
for you to decide.
That's for you and Tim Robinson to decide.
Like,
yes.
do you want should people be splashing in a big maybe they have one of those things where it's like a giant inflatable and then somebody sits on like the end of the inflatable and then two people jump on the other end and so
it launches them up.
I mean maybe that's a thing that people would enjoy.
And could we do like a little sponsored tie-in here with Red Bull and we can do the Flugtag in I think
what's a Flugtag?
I think I actually pitched a Flugtag thing not that long ago. On an episode very similar to this, but it's the Red Bull thing where like people make their own hang gliders. Basically,
I don't know what this is.
Like they make them out of like cardboard or whatever, and then they like try to actually make them work. And I think Flugtag is German for like bad airplane or something. And yeah, so like there's all these videos that are sponsored by Red Bull of people just like crashing their homemade flying machines.
Yeah. That it only makes sense for that to be in this.
Yeah,
for sure.
Great.
So yeah, that's
and romance
and romance. I mean, a game that truly has it all from flute togs
yes
to romance.
It's interesting that this is maybe the first time romance has come up in our pitches here.
Well, it's not a big part of Pokopia.
No, definitely is not. And it's not, to my recollection, a big part of Dragon Quest Builders, although there is a relationship to in Dragon Quest Builders 2. Like you are obviously a hero of sorts, and you have like a buddy who's with you the whole time, who's secretly like one of the evils of the Dragon Quest franchise, but is your buddy for a long time. And yeah, it would be nice to just evolve that into something beyond a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's going to happen with like my Venusaur, for example.
I mean, probably not.
Even though,
I memean, always live in hope, right?
right? Always live in hope. Okay.
I think we just call it. I think we call it like we see it. Wii Sports Resort Tycoon.
Wii Sports Resort Tycoon is perfect. And then Woohoo Nights is the subtitle.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Woohoo Days and Woohoo Nights.
That's right. Woohoo Nights can be the sequel.
Or it's it's like
You
Pokemon
sell
games.
two versions, yes.
you sell
Woohoo
two
Days
versions.
and Woohoo Nights.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Different romanceable options depending on which one you buy.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And then you can, if you have Woohoo Days and I have Woohoo Nights,
we can trade.
We can trade.
It's the wife swap
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
So that's right. So your romantic partner would come over to my island and they would implement rules that would, try to improve
That's right.
my island. There might be friction.
Well, there's bound to be. But that's where the drama
That's
comes
where
from,
the drama
Mark.
comes from.
I've never seen an episode of Wife Swap. Is that what happens?
I've never seen an episode of Wife Swap either, but that's what I gather.
Do you know my lasting impression of Wife Swap as like a TV show concept is that episode of 30 Rock about MILF Island. And at the end of it, Rob Hubel, who is like the host on MILF Island, it goes, coming up next, Dog Swap.
Yeah. Yeah, like, we take for granted that Wife Swap was a thing.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh yeah, Wife Swap. Let's just talk about it like it's totally normal.
Insane. Just an
It's insane
premise for a TV show.
That show existed and ran for multiple seasons.
And like to the point where then when a joke on 30 Rock is MILF Island, by the way, a show which has since actually existed, right?
I don't know.
MILF Manor, was that the name of it?
I don't know.
There was a anyway. Yeah, it makes MILF Island seem like not that absurd of a
or
pitch.
Dog Swap.
Dog Swap is so funny though. I love Dog Swap. Mark, my final pitch for a Pokopia is something that I have a game concept that I have long held in my heart, and I think I've maybe mentioned it or mentioned something gracing against it on this show previously. But I'm existing in the world of Star Fox here. But not Star Fox. When you think about it now, a little bit of a dead franchise. And this is, yes, I did just pitch as Star Tropics. One of these. So I'm living in dead franchises. That's okay. But so like to inject something new into Star Fox, I want us to go like into the far-flung future of, if not the Lilat system, then a Lilat-like system that is populated by, anthropomorphic animal characters that are basically existing in Star Wars, right? But we pick up on like the tail end, or like the after the end of some sort of intergalactic war that basically wiped out everyone. The sole survivors of this war are on like a giant space ark,
here we go. Yeah.
right? Hurtling through space. One of the like cryosleep pods opens up and it's your character. Okay. And you're like, well, and you get to design, you say like what animal,
Sure,
and, all this kind of stuff.
The mirror is foggy. You can't see until you
Until you wipe it off.
Until you wipe it off, then it's like, there I am.
You're like, I'm a lynx. Okay, cool. And I did just pick Lynx because I watched Zootopia 2 and did not like it, but there are lynxes in that. So anyway, and it is sort of up to you to like discover why you have been awoken, and it is just you and an AI that's based on the Rob 64 like commander robot from the Great Falcon or Great Fox. is maybe
I think it's
the
the Great Fox.
Great
Yeah.
Fox. And so there are all these other, you're a child, of course. And there are all these other like frozen children. And you are like gathering resources from around the ship. And, it can be one of those Metroid Other M style ships where they're like recreating different biomes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
On the ship to like give us a sense of like, nature that you're building within. But the sort of like main thrust of the game would be discovering the like history of the war that wiped out everyone, and the way that the war would be passed down to this new generation that's frozen and hurtling through space is through arcade games. So one of the things that I think is like foundational to Star Fox that makes it so awesome, and that the series has strayed from and then stopped doing entirely, is like a linear, arcadey, fun shooting action game. Not super long, not super involved, but just like cool and fun, right? And so like you would find like early an arcade cabinet that would allow you to actually play a like 4 or 5 level Star Fox game, right? No branching paths, whatever, but just like here's like the story of one battle and this like group of 4 or 5 R-wing pilots that, and maybe some of our Star Fox characters are in these games, and like so you get a little like piece of the history. And as you wake up these other survivors, you understand that their ancestors are like these characters from the game, and they're therefore like these figures from the history of this great war. And like your job is to wake everyone up and like educate everyone, including yourself, about this thing that you are the sole survivors of.
That's cool.
And in so doing, you get to play all these different Star Fox games. And like, I like the idea that a lot of the like the main like through line would be Star Fox style on rails like shooters, but like let's do a top down shooter that looks like Star Fox. Let's do a fighting game with a couple of Star Fox characters in it. Just like very UFO 50 like, and like assembling these things all towards like this one narrative of a thing that the video game makers at this time were trying to capture about this war.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. And so is like the game itself, like, is there like a builder element to it, or like a
So that you
like
would still,
management element?
yes, that you would have to like build a like room or quarters or whatever to like it wouldn't let you wake people up until you had like a room to put them in. And then when they wake up, they're like, oh, I'd like playing this game, or like you set them out to like get high scores on these machines or whatever. Like just build it all into like that sort of rhythm, right?
Yeah.
And then of course like the big reveal would be at the end, there'd be like one character running throughout like all of these games who's like wearing a helmet or something, and they take it off and there are links just like you, and you discover your own like reason for being special within that universe. Yeah, I mean it's partially just a way to definitely stealing the UFO 50 idea, but to sort of like put that into trying to express like a forgotten history. And sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and it kind of is like remixing what used to be in Animal Crossing games, and I guess kind of is in New Horizons now, where you would be able to play like NES games or
right. Well, and it's like something that I think is so like what draws me to this idea is how much of like our own like history of the 20th century is like reflected back in video games, and like what it actually understands about any of it, and like just that amazing lens through which like Japanese game developers were riffing on movies from the 80s to make our NES games. And it's just like what is canonized and what's prioritized in these games that are like expressing something about real world history is just strange and bizarre. I mean, back to the earlier example of Codename Steam, like what's going on there?
Right.
So yeah, just that kind of idea of what a fractured view of a fictional history could be expressed through these different arcade games.
Well, here's a pitch for the name, and it kind of makes me think of what they did with Resident Evil 7, where they were like, it's Resident Evil Biohazard,
Yeah.
and we are now crossing these two things over. Could it be Star Fox Lilat Wars or something to
Ooh.
that effect? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, or like Lilat War and Peace.
Yes. No, obviously.
I think it's
Star
it-
Fox, Lilat Wars
and
in
Peace.
Peace.
Sis?
War and Peace? War and Peace?
War and Peace.
War and Pieces?
War
War in Pieces? My grandfather?
Yeah, I've met the man. Yeah, that's that's my final pitch, and something that I've just been, I don't know why this idea has been lodged in my head for a while, of like, I like Star Fox, and I wish they could make a like not high pressure Star Fox game that's just a couple levels that you can get like good at, that is, you know, based in that like low poly you know, like action thing, and then just like release a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, and it's an interesting idea again because you could, in some ways, like celebrate the history, because you could have one that looks like Star Fox for the Super Nintendo, right?
Yes,
And then you could
yes.
have another one that looks more like a Nintendo 64 game. and,
Totally.
you know, like you could mark the history that way as well.
Yeah, that it would have a fictional history that like more or less mirrors like our own development history.
Yeah.
Could be a cool thing. And
And
then,
of course, Slippy and Grippy are there somehow.
of Slippy and Grippy are there for sure. Do people know? Do people remember that Slippy has an uncle named Grippy?
Listeners of the show.
Listeners of the show,
No, because
they can close their eyes and picture his mustache.
But no, I mean, if people don't, that's all the more reason to put them in there. Educate the children.
That's right. Open the schools.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, any other thoughts about the Pokopia concept or other games ideas that could be tied to it? I'm a little surprised neither of us went down the like Rusty's Real Deal Baseball line. Just,
Well, I was gonna say when you were mashing up Star Tropics with Codename Steam, I was like, well, maybe Rusty's just like a merchant on.
yeah, yeah, sure.
He moved to one of the sea islands.
Yeah, why not? And like Wart is there or something.
Right, yeah, exactly. And you know, there's a small division of the Famicom Detective Club.
Another one that could have.
Utsugi, is that the name of the detective agency?
mhm,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, I mean, Famicom Detective Club could.
You know, I was, because it's,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
sure
a
you were
favorite
kicking
hobby
around,
horse.
right?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, how do you do that and not have it, because it takes place in the real world in like, right? It's like,
Yeah, so you're demolishing Japan.
right. Like, I just couldn't think of an elegant
Right,
way.
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
That isn't like really bleak.
Yeah, but Famicom Detective Club has done very bleak.
It's true. It's true.
We just need another one of those games. Don't change the format at all.
yeah, true.
All right, Mark, let's close this discussion out. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Listeners, if you have ideas or pitches for your own Pokopia-like game, as long as it's not Mario.
Yeah, no Mario.
No Mario. Yoshi, maybe.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a little bit what like Mysterious Book is doing.
Sure, you're on an
And-
island. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're meeting like different creatures.
Uh-huh. Glubbits.
You're meeting Glubbits.
You're meeting Glubbits.
I mean, whatever. I'm soliciting your pitches, listeners. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society
At gmail.com.
or get in that Discord and we can talk about it there. Mark, I'm very much looking forward to you starting Pokemon Pokopia.
Yeah, I can't wait. It just looks like, and it looks like something I could potentially play between other stuff, because I'm still committed to finishing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm sure you are.
But I feel overwhelmed with games right now. So
Yeah, it's an okay problem to have. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Thank you to our 16-bit patrons, Connor McCabe, Kyle Seaborn, Drew Mackey. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who is hanging out on the Patreon or the Discord or listening to us wherever you do that. Join the Discord. Email us. I'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.